Now I go to the database.php, and inside the database class, first of all, I create a private connection variable and I call it $con and set it initially to null. Then I create the constructor of this class, public function double underscore construct, and the parameter list, which is empty here. Inside the body of this constructor, first of all, I create a variable and call it $connection and set it to an object of the connection class that I have created above. So, using this statement, I create an object of this connection class. Now, I set the value of the $con member of this class to the return value of the getConnection method of the $connection object using the arrow operator. Now, I'm going to create a new function and call it authenticate to authenticate the user against the data inside the users table of the database. This function takes two parameters, which are the username and password of the user. The username here can be the email address of the user. Now, if we look at the database here, as we see, the password has been encrypted using the MD5 encryption algorithm. So, first of all, we need to encrypt our password here. I create a variable and call it $password and set its value to the encrypted form of the password, which comes from the user. Now, I'm going to write my query. Query is set to select all from user where email =, and password =. Now here I concatenate the value of the password variable. I say limit when only one record must be retrieved. Now I copy this part and paste it here and change this variable to the username variable. Now I'm going to execute my query. I create a variable and call it $result and set it to the value which is going to be retrieved from the database using the query method of the connection object. I say if the number of rows is greater than 0, return the string true, else return the string false. Now I save the changes and go to the server.php. First of all, I import the database.php file inside this server.php file using the require function of PHP. Database.php. Using this statement, we include or import this database.php file inside the server.php here. Now I am going to create an object of the database class. I create a variable and call it $db_handler, and here I say new database. So using this statement, we're going to create an object of the database class that you see here inside the database.php file. Now I'm going to call the authenticate method of this object and pass it two values. The first value is the email and the second value is the password of the user. So this email that you see is the value of this email key that you see here, and this password is the value of this key inside this associative array. Now I am going to return the return value of the authenticate function to the browser. I use echo here. I save the changes and go back to the browser. I reload the content and hit the login. I see that there is a value here in the alert, and that is false. It means that the login credentials were not correctly set, or they have been empty. Now I write an invalid email and password here, u@gmail.com, and an incorrect password here. Now I hit the login. I see that still there is a false value there. Now I enter my valid login credentials, marif.najm@yahoo.com, and here I write my correct password and hit the login. Now I see that the string true has been returned to the browser by the server. I close it and go back to the code.